Alright, I am live. For the first time in a while. So let's just see how many times I end up swearing by accident. Uh, okay, good. My microphone is working. Would have been really bad if it did. And there is that. Close freaking paint.net. Don't save. Don't care. Alright, hello everybody. It has been like a month and a half since it's been a month and a half since I actually like streamed or like did pretty much anything on YouTube, and I think my view counts on the last two videos have shown that. So we're going to talk a little bit first, and then I'll get into what I'm going to be doing. So, like, since last stream, I got knee surgery, so I haven't really been able to do that much at my computer. Like, I can still play Skyblock. That's not an issue at all. But when I actually have to like use my brain for something, it's a lot harder. And as it turns out, the way I've had to sit makes playing GD much harder. I'm sitting normally. I could sit normally for about like an hour at a time probably, but it's still messing me up a little bit. Once I get back into college, second year starts next week. I should be able to stream with much more consistency as long as I keep on top of my work. And considering that I have a 5 hour block on Mondays and Wednesdays where I do not have to be in a class at all, hopefully I'll be able to stay caught up on my work and like have no work at home and actually be able to stream. So yeah, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday are probably gonna be really good for those. Monday and Wednesday, not so much. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end up streaming much more this year than I was able to last year. Uh, and I should also probably be making more videos just because I want to start like making a lot more like discussion videos, reviews, just random smaller videos like that instead of like just Extreme Demon videos, because I actually do have a lot of fun making those. So yeah, the one other thing I'll mention is that I'm doing this on keyboard because I am probably gonna switch to it once I get back and the semester starts and everything. It is not for playing ability. Let me just get that out of the way right now. It is not in any way for playing ability, even if I might gain a pretty decent skill boost from it. It is literally just because I have noticed significantly less strain on my hand after like hour-long keyboard sessions than hour-long mouse sessions. So I needed a new keyboard anyway, so perfect timing. I'm ordering the Corsair K70. It should be here before the semester starts, I guess. I mean, it'll probably arrive like the 26th or 27th. I will not be at my house, so I'm just going to hope with all that is holy that nobody steals it, because people at where I live tend to do that. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get to some gaming, shall we? So I think it's about this side. Yeah, that looks about right. So today's simple. We're just doing the GDDP. I had an app for this like at some point. GDDP home. Yes, sync my account and all that. Let me actually pull it up on OBS. Yeah, there we go. So I'm not sure what levels I got added that I just haven't beaten yet. I really should uh I really should get an ad blocker or something. So adrenaline rush, node, and heat. I think I can do heat. I'm pretty sure I can do heat. Don't know about adrenaline rush. Maybe node, definitely not. I'll just do that off stream, and then probably like a couple of like medium demons, and then maybe a hard demon. We'll have to see. So yeah, I'm actually going to be smart now and take the thing off the screen. So, no, I don't want to allow Steam client service to make changes to my device. So yeah, I did, one of the other things I did was, like, yesterday or so, is I got Trackmania, like the Trackmania Nations Forever, so that could also be something that I, like, make content on. I don't know if I'm going to stream it, but I might make content on it. So yeah, what was I going to do? I think I was going to do Heat. Heat, this one. I have 21% on this. That's not a good sign. Okay, I need to turn something down. Actually, you know what? I'm just playing without the song. Or not, I guess. You know what? Nah, I'm not doing that. Let's figure out a bronze. This should probably get around to doing Deep Blue Sea, yeah. Deep Blue Sea. So yeah, this is gonna be most of what I'm doing for this stream and probably the next one, because in terms of Bloodlust, I can't really do all that much, and considering that I'm gonna be away for a while and I'm probably doing keyboard, there's not really all that much of a point in doing all that much, but we shall see. Yeah, this level is mostly cool. Like, it's really cool thematically. I really like the theme. Oh, I didn't even know that was a coin. Like, it's really cool thematically, but the issue is, like, with this theme, is that can be, like, really hard to tell what can and can't kill you, which I suppose that's a problem most easy demons have. Yeah, see, like that. A lot of times it just blends in, but oh well. So unfortunately, I'm probably not going to have that many stories, because realistically, I have done barely anything. Depending on how it goes, I might end up, like, pulling a story from the past, maybe. Again, I'm really not sure. There we go. I know this said ship and wave, and thus far... SpongeBob, and thus far there's most certainly a lot of ship. I don't know about wave, but there's a lot of ship. Okay. Yeah, I was doing something for a while before this, so maybe not the fairest comparison, but even then, I would probably be feeling like a pretty significant amount of hand pain right now. The nice thing about the K70 that I'm getting is that it has like a hand pad that you can just like rest so that I can like give my hand something to rest on other than my desk. So, you know, that'll be very useful, I think. Okay. Point taken. You know what? I'm gonna practice this. Yeah, so I'm definitely in a bit of like a YouTube slump right now, but that is completely fine. It happens sometimes, and I just need to be somewhat consistent. I also need to set checkpoints, but you know, I digress. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm also gonna get the K70 that I'm getting in specific also has like a hand pad, which is good. I think it's gonna be really useful because I just have to rest like the edge of my hand on my, like when I'm using keyboard, I have to rest the edge of my hand on, or my hand on the edge of my desk. Sorry, pretty consistently, and that gets somewhat painful after a while. So again, it's not at all about skill boost. It's entirely about comfort while playing. The skill boost is just like an afterthought. This level's actually pretty cool. Like, it's doesn't do the best job of making every obstacle visible, but it's cool. So let's just do it from the beginning now. That would be awesome. Water. So because I'm still walking on crutches and still like not really able to walk on my own yet, and it's gonna be even worse with the stairs. I'm probably gonna any like break that I have to take that involves me getting up and like going to the bathroom or living room or something like that. It's probably gonna be a lot more. It's probably gonna be a lot longer. But that is just how it is. Sometimes I shouldn't have to. I'll try to not take as. I'll try to not take more breaks than I like absolutely need to take, but no promises. I was wondering, so let me try. Yes, I was thinking about this earlier. Someone, when I asked the question of like, oh, is keyboard better or worse for comfort? Like, if you started started using mouse and then switched to keyboard, what did you notice in terms of comfort difference? And like, I got a bunch of like varied answers. The general consensus was that it like mostly is a good thing for like hand and arm pain, although arm pain isn't the problem, it's just hand pain. But the person the person that like said that she benefited from it the most also said that she like uses her wrist to play, not her hand. So I don't really know how that works. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But yeah, again, just any. But yeah, if that works out, it's gonna work out great. Oh. I somehow already, while doing I forgot that the slopes were ones you can slide on as I was sliding on a slope. That is spectacular. Although if you need any evidence that my brain was just has just not been in a good place in terms of like intelligence last little bit, I was thinking, like, I think it was 2 days ago, I was thinking about something that had a sentence that began with the two words "I am," and I legitimately had to think about whether "am" or "are" was grammatically correct. It was just not something that I usually go through, and I've also like, I noticed that when I type, I'm making a lot more spelling errors. So yeah, but I managed to. Most of that stress is coming from a class that I had like 3 things in, and I managed to turn in the 2 biggest pieces of that by far on Friday and yesterday. So yeah, I'm definitely breathing a little bit easier at least. And I have basically a week left of summer, so I'm just gonna try to enjoy it as best I can. And this is what happens when I like don't play for a little bit. So yeah, in terms of like how I found out that my sitting position was griefing me, I went to play Bloodlust. I had been trying to play Bloodlust a decent amount over like the last week or so. But the derusting process wasn't going well, like, at all. So I just decided, because I have to sit with like my knee or leg propped up to a stool on the side. So I tried just switching to sitting how I normally sit, and I immediately, like, within like 10 attempts, I got 3 runs that were each better than any of the runs that I had gotten in like the week before. Don't get me wrong, the runs were still bad, but yeah, I've been making things a lot harder for myself than they need to be. Because the entire time I thought that like the ocean floor, I guess, was something you had to avoid, but no, you can just slide on it. That, on the other hand, That, on the other hand, not really. Yeah, I think if I have my hand like this, it'll be much easier. So yeah, I described it in my on my community tab, but like my schedule for this year is just atrocious. I'm not gonna say atrocious. Like, it's actually probably one of the best that I'm going to have in college in terms of like doability and comfort. But it's just like it's so, everything is either like super compact. I get to just do everything in one fell swoop and have it done, or I have like a billion hours of breaks in between classes. Like, and as I said, Monday and Wednesday, I have more time between classes than in classes, which is just ridiculous. And then Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, then. Yeah, so I have that, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I have one class each of those days, and then Thursday and Friday, or Tuesday's the only day that I have anything after that. Thursday and Friday, I get to leave after that, and the class ends at 11, so if that gives you any indication. But yeah, it's gonna be okay, I think. Granted, I don't like the fact that I have to wake up at 8 in the morning every single day except Friday, but you know, no real use in trying to change it, so I'm just gonna live with it. I'm reminded of an image that goes something like, of a tweet that goes something like, "My mama raised a complainer, not a quitter. I'm gonna get it done, but you're gonna hear about it." And that is an image that I've been thinking about quite a bit over the last couple days. Okay. Let's see what this feels. Oh yeah, because I think another of my problems with the keyboard, like as it was at that point, is just that I have it like relatively close to my desk, and I have to like rest my hand on the very edge of it. But if I like move it up a little bit, then I can like fully rest my hand on the desk, and it causes a lot less issues. So it'll probably be good motivation for me to clean off my desk as well, because like I'm not gonna show it because I don't want to, but it is not the cleanest it can be. Although granted, this desk is also pretty small, so. Okay, that took a little bit too much effort, but yeah, I got the first coin. How many attempts was that? Wow, 68 attempts, and yet only 14 jumps. Yeah, that was pretty good. It could be what can and can't kill you could be communicated better, but overall that was fire. So now let me bring this back up. So I get to mark Deep Blue Sea is completed. Save just to be safe. Toxic Surge. Is that what I'm thinking of? I think I'm thinking of Toxic Sewers. But in any case, let's see what Toxic Surge is. Yeah, it took me like 15 minutes to be a medium demon. Wow. Oh yeah, I think I remember why I did not complete this level when I first went for it. But oh well, I'm actually gonna try to commit to it this time. Even though it is very, very difficult to read. Wow. This is cool though. That. Yeah, I'm gonna go into practice mode. It is so weird, and also a little bit humbling to have to use practice mode on a medium demon. Although I guess that's just, like 2.2 demons for you. That's just a thing you have to do. But overall, I do like this level. I do think it's a pretty good level. I did not intend to do that at all, but sure, I guess. This is cool. It feels a little bit like a darker version of Dash, or like a night version of Dash, if that makes sense. Like, you know how some games have like night mode or dark mode or something like that. That with levels that are like more difficult versions of levels in that same world. This is what that feels like. It feels like that, but applied to Dash, which I think is cool. Okay, noted. You can't jump over the spider orbs. And that was cool. Shouldn't take me that long. I hope anyway. I mean, the last level took me like 20 attempts after completing a practice run, so who knows. Now that I think about it, I could probably, what do I think I could do? I could probably alternate whether I play on mouse or keyboard for a specific extreme. I might not have to switch to keyboard full time. Like if I do an easier level, I could probably use mouse. Or if I'm doing like a level with relatively low CPS. But like stuff like Bloodlust, Fog, probably Sparkling, I'm more than likely going to gravitate towards my keyboard. What the hell? And actually, I'll tell you where this whole, like, idea of playing on keyboard started. It started with Rest in Peace, and I think there's a couple levels named that, but I'm specifically focusing on the Gaiden / Starkey version. And oh my god, like it takes all of the levels that you could consider the most complicated in GD, or like at least in terms of the gameplay, and makes them look like Stereo Madness. Like that, it is actually like that. It is insane. It's one of my favorite extremes of all time, or at least will be once it gets verified. But oh my god, that is like y'all know I believe in myself a lot, probably a lot more than I should. But that's like one of the few levels that I feel like no matter how good I got, no matter how long I stuck with it, no matter how much I could play it and still like not have to worry about money, I genuinely think I could never beat that level. I get 2 runs, maybe. Like, maybe 2 runs is a possibility, but I just don't see a world where I'm able to string all of it together from beginning to end in one attempt. But, like, it's such an amazing level. I love it so much. sick. I panicked a little bit because I missed the green orb, but still ended up fine. So, hell yeah, what was that, like a flick from 59? Yeah, that level's cool as well. I like dash. So, and it just feels like a dark mode version of that, which I'm always a fan of. So let's see. Toxic Surge, yes. Speed of Light 2. Do I do it? Mass Surveillance. Nope, I'm not. I'm going with that. Screw you, Speed of Light 2. Let me see. Mass Serve. Also, just want to point out, this is not XL. What are you doing, game? Yeah, I have a lot of progress on a lot of GDDP levels, just because. I don't remember much of this level, but from what I remember, it's pretty cool. How did I even do that? Alright. You know what I just realized? I just realized it's called Mass Surveillance because the name of the song is Crowd... I think Crowd Control? Yeah, this is Crowd Control. Which is honestly just like... just very well done. That's perfect. Like, granted, it's still, like, technically mostly the name of the song, but at least it's unique about it, you know? Okay, my brain just shut off. Let me see. There we go. Just let me get back into this really quickly. Yeah, the song just keeps going. I'm not really sure why. That's one thing I don't understand and will probably never understand about, like, 2.2 levels. Just why do they keep this song going after you die? And, you know, maybe that's just because I could be considered an old gen. Like, I joined in 2017. But, like, that was only 3 years into the game's, like, 3.5 years into the... Okay, yeah. That was only 3.5 years into the game's lifespan at that point, and now we're at 13. So, yeah, I could very much be considered an old gen, which feels weird to say about myself. But yeah, it could just be because I've, like, been playing for a while, and I'm used to this, but I do not understand why some creators, like, keep the song going after the player dies. Like, that just seems completely unneeded. It's a weird feeling playing on keyboard for this long in front of people. But, you know, again, I probably just have to get used to it. And I'm sure I can find ways to... Okay, I'm gonna give... If you can explain how and why I died to that, $100. Hi, apparently, what's up? Yeah, I'm actually kind of, streaming, so that's nice. So I don't know if I'm gonna stream Bloodlust until I get my, K70, because as I mentioned, I am more than likely switching to keyboard, at least mostly. Once I get it, just because I think it'll be a lot more comfortable for my hand. If it's not, I'll keep playing on mouse, and again, I need a new keyboard anyway, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, switching to keyboard is hard, but if you give it a day, you'll be good. Yeah. And, like, I think the Corsair is just... I can't remember what reason, but I think there's a specific reason that makes Corsairs just, like, a good option for GD in general. Or maybe it's just because it's like pretty durable, but I think I hear a lot of people use it. So we shall see. But again, I'll say this as many times as I need to. I'm not doing it for skill, I'm doing it for comfort. Yeah, it would appear that not uploading for like a month has had its side effects, let's just say. But I'm gonna do my best to be a lot more consistent for at least the first semester. Second semester might screw me over, but who knows. Probably because I play with my middle finger. That's something that I like considered doing, but like I usually use my middle finger for like Trackmania, and it does start to hurt after a decent bit. So who knows? I might do middle finger. I might do pointer finger. I might do a combination of both. I don't know. But yeah, the next couple weeks I think are going to be a bit of a learning curve, and I'm okay with that. Okay, yeah, this is probably the worst of the 3 levels that I have done so far. Like, I don't know why, just not all that big a fan of it. Oh, and also, one other thing I sort of set up over the last little bit is that I finally figured out how to, like, actually use auto-deafen, and I just wasted that. Ship control, but it's mostly fine now. Yeah, I can see that. But, like, even then, I've done, like, up arrow when I'm, like, super bored enough times over the years that I think my ship control is okay. And God knows I'm certainly gonna need it to be okay. I swear to God, if I end up doing 1 to 100, I'm going to be mad. Oh. That could have been communicated better. I keep forgetting that that's not a real orb. Like, I every single time I think it's just, like, my keyboard, pulling shenanigans, because like a part of the reason I'm getting a new keyboard in the first place is because spacebar and up arrow on mine do not work as well as they should. Maybe a whole lot better at wave, yeah. Probably gonna be a side effect as well. Let me see. Okay, I do have another water bottle in relatively close proximity because once I run out of it with both, this is gonna be pretty annoying, I think, and the process is gonna be a lot harder. But yeah, maybe that'll be... I fell for it again. But maybe that'll be what I need to finally get better at wave. Because like, wave's always been my worst game mode, and will probably always be my worst game mode, but maybe it'll help it be not as much my worst game mode. Alright, that was certainly one of the practice runs of all time. And like even after like half an hour of playing, there's a little like a very slight amount of pain / strain, don't get me wrong, but it's much lesser than like usually when I stream around this point, and I'm playing on mouse. Remember, the orb is fake. Going from 144 FPS to SATOS with CBF was ridiculous. Yeah, I am aware of that, but I'm still not going to use CBF. Like, use it if you want to, fine, but I'm not going to use it. Alright, back here again. Oh, that was way too close. Alright, that was a level. Okay, it's not all like negative or neutral. I do like some parts. I did like the waves or the wave and most of the ships, and I do really like how much swing copter is used. But overall, it's okay. So, alright, get that done. Next. No, I don't want to tap download to start whatever's making that pop up. So let's see, what else is left? Ebb, maybe. Color Crusher, I don't want to... would probably take me more than the time I have to stream. Same with Brain Power. Speed of Light 2, no. Dash V2, no. Breakout, maybe. Probably should get around to Speed of Light 2. Song brings me back to when I was going for crowd control. Yeah, so how is that level, by the way? Because like I feel like I've seen every opinion about it under the sun. Speed of Light 2. For this one, I'm not... This doesn't deserve to have the left covered. This one's getting normal Atsol. Oh my god, I haven't heard this in I don't even know how long. Practice mode. So does anyone have any idea of why in like some earlier versions of Mega Hack having like practice music on would cause the level to restart whenever you entered it? Because like that was so weird. Like, was that really necessary? But oh well. It wasn't like that. It was just annoying mostly. Oh, okay, I have to do that. Oh yeah, I remember why. Yeah, that explains a lot of why I dropped it. Thank you. So hold off the second one. So jump and then hold until that happens, I think. Okay, that doesn't seem horrible, I guess. Carries difficulty runs, but the ending is super annoying. Yeah, I can see that definitely. Oh right, there's another one I forgot. Okay, at least that one's slightly easier to understand. Also, the first click is bad. Yeah, that is something that if I had ever, like, was considering going for crowd control, that's something that I would, like, pay a lot of attention to, is the first click. Like, it's not gonna be Acheron, because, like, no other level is Acheron, but still. What? Oh, I forgot to jump there. Oops. I may or may not have just been trying to use my shift key to jump. God, I am an absolute genius. Yeah, I think I was just like, I think I was just stubborn because this level really is not, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Don't get me wrong, it's not Korra, it's like a mosquito in your ear. That's actually a really good way of describing it. I didn't think of it like that. And yeah, Korra is probably the gold standard of levels with stupidly hard first clicks now that I think about it. I think a very funny question is how much of the difficulty of Korra is compacted into the first click, because like I have a feeling that it's at least like 10%. Well, 50 again. I mean, I got farther into the 50, but I was looking at chat. And that's why I couldn't do that click. I forgot what to do. I have a friend who did it as his hardest I could ask him. Yeah, I cannot believe I fluked everything up to the second duel and then did that, bro. Like, are we serious? I'm just thinking of the speed, like Aisho speed. Are you serious right now, bro? Clip. Like, that is the best way I can sum this up. Honestly, like, I'm gonna go on a bit of a ramble, because, yeah. Actually, I'll wait until I don't have to deal with this anymore. Okay, bro. Yeah, as I was saying, like, seeing iShowSpeed, like, what iShowSpeed is doing nowadays, after seeing, like, what he was up to at the beginning of his career, that is, like, genuinely really cool. And I know it's, like, YouTuber, like, you whole YouTubers doing things for videos scene, but, like, it's genuinely really cool. And he's also, like, at least in comparison to other YouTubers, I really appreciate how he actually, like, makes an attempt to blend in with, like, the culture of wherever he's going. Because I know a lot of YouTubers, especially, like, in 2016, 2017, somewhere around that era, that would not even, that not only would not make the effort, but would make to, like, learn about that culture, but would do their absolute best to, like, make fun of them for it. Like, make fun of the people that are in that culture, so... Bruh. Oh well. I'm being so serious when I say this. This is... I had been using the Lefidu remix for so long that I had forgotten what actual Axel sounds like. Maybe, I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, like, switch my attention mid-duel. I wonder if I would be better off if I just, like, focused on the cube in the duel. Yeah, he's, like, one of the only people from, like, that initial group of content creators, whatever it was, that's actually, like, matured as a person, which I really respect. And I think he's also realized that, like, oh, I'm not Speed. I can't claim to be. I can't claim to know what he's thinking. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's, like, realized that, like, a good majority of his audience is, like, impressionable children, and like, calm down his behavior, not his energy. His energy is still, like, incredibly high, which, fair enough. He's just, like, an energetic person from what I've seen. But, like, comparing the type of content that Speed was making in, like, 2021 to the type of content he makes now, it's just night and day difference. And I think it's cool that, like, there's a YouTuber doing that stuff. Yeah, it's crazy that it all started because of, like, a Ronaldo, like, support tweet, comment, question. I do not remember. I think it was, like, a comment made on Twitch after a donation. So what exactly does Kaizenat do? Like, that's generally, that's, like, a legitimate question. Like, I pretty much know nothing about him other than the streams he does with iShowSpeed. And, like, considering he was formerly, I think, the most subscribed streamer on Twitch, like, I think he peaked at over, like, 200k at some point. The fact that I don't even know what he does, he's either really concerning, or it just means that I'm, like, an adult and I have a social life. Speaking of which, I turn 19 in 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't know how it happened. 18 just... I was thinking too hard. Performing at the World Cup final is ridiculous. Yeah. And, like, the dude's barely... I think the dude's 21. So, like, the fact that he gets all of these opportunities is insane. And I'm actually very happy for him. I know I usually try to like hold in my rage. Sometimes I don't do a great job of it, as the most recent stream I did before this one shows. But like generally, I am able to like hold in my rage. If I was someone that did not do that, I would have crashed out right there. There were people playing there who were younger than me. Like, am I all? Hey, if it makes you feel any better, whatever the difference is in days between our birthdays, that's how much younger they are than me, as opposed to you. So, and I'm not gonna dox your birthday. I'm not gonna do that. But I do think I have a general idea of when it is. Also, my leg has been, like, weirdly okay throughout this. Which surprised me. I did not think that it would end up okay. I was distracted. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna make this into a video. I probably wouldn't have made it into a video even before I stopped doing, well, maybe I could make something out of this. Maybe. I'm not saying definitively, but maybe. Yeah, I expected that. Like, the first speed of light wasn't great. Like, it wasn't offensive or anything, but it just wasn't great. It was mediocre. But this is, oh my god. And, like, what makes it feel even more frustrating is the fact that it, at least from what I remember, doesn't really do much to improve on the decoration of its predecessor. Lamine Yamal is worth 2. Okay. Imagine, like, having a net worth of $250 million before you become an adult. And yes, I know it's closer to $1/5 of a billion, but $250 million just sounds better. Like, what? That's just such an insane amount of money. What do they... So how much of it is in, like, actual money that they have, and how much of it is in, like, investments and stuff? That also works, but... Oh, well, I guess a year older than you would be 18, but, like, you get what I mean. Buying as the players that much, I don't... Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. But even still, $250 million for, like, an 18, 19-year-old, that is insane money. Oh, Alex, by the way, so where are you at in the co-leg process? Because I know you're going somewhere pretty far away. Yeah, it seems like this was very much the inspiration for Zodiac with how many bad transitions it has. Okay, yeah, that works much better. Okay, good. Because I know that was probably a bit of a pain to actually make happen, but you know, it's good that it's going well. Let me just check my... Yeah. Why couldn't I have just fluked it? But oh well. I'm not ending stream until at the very least I beat this level. I mean, like, it's a medium demon, so... That one was my fault, but still, it's frustrating. I feel like this has gotta have taken me longer than any other level, individual level of this stream. Like, how long have I been streaming? I've actually been streaming for a decent amount of time, but like my hand is feeling more or less fine. Like there's slight strain, but it's not nearly as much, and I think having like the hand pad will help me significantly. Yeah. I know Atsol is like everywhere, but it's not a bad song. The remix is better, but Atsol on its own is not a bad song. What are your classes this year? Theory and ear training, because I failed both of those last time. Because theory I was bad at, and ear training, that one I'm blaming on the professor. Theory was completely my fault. Ear training, I'm blaming it on the professor. And then, so that's on Mondays, Wednesdays. Theory is also on Fridays. And then Monday, Wednesday, I have concert choir, and there's a 5-hour block between theory and concert choir. I did not hold. And then Tuesday and Thursday is like topics in music history, which is basically a seminar on like John Cage. Which, yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. And it's taught by my advisor, who I get along with incredibly well. With. There we go. Alright, bro. If I'm struggling this much on it with the hardest of Plasma Pulse Finale, I can't even imagine what it would be like to beat this as your new hardest. Like, it would just drive you nuts. It would either drive you just completely nuts, or it would be significantly easier mentally. It's like one of those two. I feel like there's no in between. This level is bad. This level is very bad. If it was any harder, this probably would get a negative gameplay score. What? Okay, that's good. So, yeah, I was considering doing, because at least for foreign language, so I did German for like 2 weeks last year, and then I dropped out. I was considering taking Italian this year, at the very least just because I'm already slightly more familiar with it, because A, it's somewhat similar to Spanish, and B, I've had to sing more pieces in Italian than one might think. So, but yeah, it would have been just too much stress, and I was offered something that was basically just like extra help with my other classes that still not only counted towards my credits, but also gave me still gave me enough to be considered a full-time student. So unlike the last three, this is one of the worst levels I've ever played. I'm going to move my face cam off screen because I have a very specific gesture I would like to give this level. There we go. Face cam back. So, yeah, beat that piece of trash. Save this. What else could I do? I mean, all of these are... Hard Doom is probably too hard for me to... Let's see, is there like an insane demon that I could... Oh god, hiccups. So actually, what I should probably do is, like, bring it up on OBS, right? Is that what a good YouTuber does? So let's see. RGB I'll get to later. Octagon Force maybe. This, I feel like it would just be too much to learn. This, absolutely not. This, maybe I like the swing, but I do remember it being somewhat, like, inconsistent. Maybe, but probably not. Charcoal... Sedulous, later. Rothman Adventures, later. Eternal Vehemence, I love this, but later, and also the song is this not in the stream. It's very, it's very flashy and also hard to learn. There are many colors, probably not. Maybe. That might be the one I do. Wait. Okay, I'm not gonna make the same mistake as I did. I'm not gonna make the same mistake that I did last time, so let me check out, let me see what charcoal is at first. I've got 5%, so let's see. Okay, this level's super cool, but I will... Late. No, looking for Late by Kiwi Penguin. I just remembered what it is, so I guess charcoal, maybe. Well, let's see. Is this? Okay, what? What am I doing? It's a good thing I actually am, like, bothering to use practice mode. Okay, that is certainly something. Okay, I could not. Okay. Oh god, we're only 35% through. No, don't do that, you idiot. Dude, I'm still thinking about... What is it? Was it... I'm still thinking about mass surveillance, I think, because I see a red orb, and my first instinct is, no, don't hit that, it'll kill you. Okay, should not have done that. So there's a little bit of memory, I guess, but it shouldn't be too bad. Ooh, spider. Alright, so there's this. Okay, the spider shouldn't be too bad. Wave is another story, possibly. Isn't that, it was actually, like, really easy. Blah. There's a lot of memory, but it's really not too bad. Should probably, Okay, so I go that way. Okay, don't hit... So, skip the first one, hit the second. Got it. Yeah, this is what happens when I'm learning, like, a memory or, like, a learning level. I just end up talking to myself for the entire thing. So... Yeah, I mean, might as well. Just have to... As long as I can, like, remember the click patterns I had to do and not slip off of tiny blocks, then I should be okay. Oops. Alright, well, I've doubled my previous record, so surely that means this attempt I'll get 20, and the next attempt I'll get 40, and the attempt after that I'll get 80. Or 10 again, that also works. I did not even think about that, but that is a very funny swag route. 11, alright. That level is super cool. Maybe I beat it. Charcoal or, like, late? Oops. Okay, that was a legitimate up arrow issue, though. That was genuinely not my fault. Again, I was gonna get a new keyboard anyway. $17. I know the one you're playing now. Okay, so yes, charcoal. Yeah, thematically, it's one of the coolest levels I've ever seen. Gameplay-wise, I'm not sure yet. Oh well. New best by actually a decent bit. Yeah, I could totally beat this. Gets 31 once as his first attempt past 20. Yeah, I think I could beat this. I'm gonna do a practice, not another practice run. I'm gonna try to get, like, what would be a good place, like spider to 100 maybe? I don't remember what percentages those are. If another percentage comes up that's better, I will go towards that. But yeah, usually by this point my hand would be hurting, like, to the point of being almost completely unusable, at least to play GD. But it's not doing so bad. Oops. Don't really understand why that's a thing that can happen, but oh well. This is probably a good spot. Oops. Those are the two. Yeah. So next I'm gonna take a class all about solving differential equations at this rate. Yes, I'm still continuing with that bit because I think it is incredibly funny. Okay, so don't do that. Yeah, I don't know how to explain this, but like there's certain percentages in levels where like I think about runs to 100, and it's not the run itself that gives me a little bit of an ick, it's the number itself. So like 49 to 100, I think, ooh, that doesn't sound all that satisfying, but like 40, 45 to 100, 44 to 100. I think it's really just my brain wanting to see two of the same type of number next to each other, but I could be wrong. Honestly, I could probably stand to move it to the move my start position to the spider. Well, starting position, not a start position, but you know what I mean. Okay, there we go. Oops. So yeah, 56 to 100, and then once I do that, I think I can... I think I might feel comfortable going from 0, not sure. A little bit fast. Though I'm not sure whether you know what a derivative is. I probably knew at some point. Like, I probably... When would I have, like, first learned it? Probably, like, one of the algebra classes, or either that or calculus. And if that's the case, then I'm kind of screwed because I did not take calculus. But I don't regret that at all. Statistics was way more fun for me. And also my teacher was awesome. Yeah, as long as I'm, like, changing up my hand position every once in a while, this is not bad at all. And, like, I'm not hoping to nullify the hand pain entirely, but if I can reduce it in any way. Okay, so I have to remember that one is first yellow portal with yellow orb. Skip this one. Oops. I hated stats. I don't know. Just a boring repetitive task. Honestly, I think it's just because, like, my brain handles, like, flat numbers so well. And also, like, it's... I already keep, like, track of detailed Jeopardy statistics. So it felt like the natural progression. And also, again, my teacher was awesome. Like, there are teachers' names that you make an adjective in a good way. Could you play that next? Not gonna play it on stream, but I will. I'll go back and look at the stream chat and then play it, like, after I end stream. But yeah, as I was saying, there's teachers where their names are adjectives in a good way or in a bad way, and my stats teacher, his name was absolutely in a good way. He was fantastic. And, like, most people that I've asked that have had him have shared that opinion. I was thinking too much about it. Also, the fact that you said macro recommended is not a good sign. I did it again, bro. What is wrong with me? Bro. At some point it will click in my brain like everything else in this part has clicked in my brain. And then when that happens, I will be unstoppable, at least until the next thing that requires memorization. Okay, that was better. That was much better. Oops. Yeah, was that like... Was that like exclusive to like a specific level of the class? Because I don't think that I would have... I don't remember doing that when I took it. Yeah, depending on whether or not I have to extend a class into summer again, I do want to take basically that, but at the college level. And I know that like you're asking yourself why. I just like stats, okay? I just like stats and I like numbers. I keep forgetting what pair of green orbs I have to hit both of and which one I have to skip one of them. Alright, cool. 56 to 100. Alright, let's run it. Oops. Journal math course. Yeah, I think I saw one of those at some point, but like, I wish I still had my assignments from that class. Oops. Oh well, new best. You know, the one good thing about being like super rusty from not playing for months is that you just unlock all sorts of deaths that you're pretty sure no one's ever had before. Which, yeah, see what I mean? No correlation to P. Yeah, I do remember that actually. Yeah, that shit part is the only part of this level in terms of gameplay that I really like dislike all that much, just because what am I trying to say? It just feels like it blends in a lot, and like most of the parts in this level have that problem kind of, but like the ship is one of the biggest examples. Okay, that's technically that's better, but not by much. By the way, what does the name charcoal refer to? Like, how does this relate to charcoal at all? I guess, is it just like mining / drilling, or maybe it's like maybe it's also like a smeltery? I don't know. All right, bro. Yeah, Okay, okay, I was wrong. I do think we covered that. That reminds me of something I'll talk about after this attempt. Okay, bro. So yeah, what I was gonna say is, one of my Jeopardy friends, Marco, who I've mentioned before in the Ariana ranking video, he's I think he was a math professor. I don't remember where, but he made the job switch from college to high school pretty recently. So at one point he showed me like a bunch of questions that he had written, like probability questions he had written for his students, and one of them had to do with his Jeopardy, I guess, career. It was like if statistically I answer 84% of the questions correctly in a given set of 5, what's the chance that I will answer all 5 correctly, and then what's the chance that I will answer 4 correctly? And I thought that was cool. Okay, closer. Like the teacher from that one, like the Ook and Gluck, I think. But yeah, I do remember reading that like a very long time ago. I think at one point it was in like, I think it was either like banned or pulled from shelves. I don't remember, but I do know there was some amount of controversy regarding that book. Okay. I need to practice this part. Don't worry, guys. I can do it. I can beat a hard demon. That is something I am capable of doing. So, here's probably a good place. Oops. Yeah, sorry, but you're going to be watching some amount of relearning. Okay, there's that. I should probably make sure I'm like actually consistent with it. But yeah, it got taken off. Right. That's what it was. Yeah, but honestly, like I'm not mad at that reason, because like even if it was like the normalized choice, there's a difference between normalized and morally right. So I can see that why that would drum up debate, especially when, you know, it's relating to people that at the end of the day don't want to be endlessly stereotyped. Hell yeah. So 35 to 100, alright, let's do this. I don't know if you saw my eyes widen at like the the part of the spider that where you have to like do a somewhat fast double click to get onto a pink pad. I thought I had missed the timing window. I probably timed that like as late as you could go and still survive. I really could have fluked this from 44. That is ridiculous. Oh well. And that was the first attempt after the practice run, too. Hopefully, unlike Speed of Light 2, this does not take me a billion years. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, other than Dogman, all of Dave Pilkey's books have been in controversy, like major controversy at least once. Because, like, they're good books, don't get me wrong, but, like, with what he's writing about, you're bound to get into trouble somewhere. Okay, immediate recovery. That was 2 attempts later, I think. Not impressed if I beat that in like 2 seconds. Cap. Yeah, agreed. How are you that lame? Although I think in the last book of the Captain Underpants series, I do think that he used like that Dave used one of the first few chapters to like take pot shots at the people that were doing all this stuff. All right, cool. I beat Charcoal. Okay. I don't know. Visually, this level's probably one of my favorite levels in the game. Like I love the visual style. I love like how it works with the song. I really like it. It just looks clean for the most part. It just looks clean. I really like the color use. Like, this level just looks fantastic, bottom line. Gameplay I'm mixed on. A lot of it's cool, if not a little bit hard to learn. The mini-cube felt pretty finicky at a lot of points. And, you know, learning the spider was a pain. And sometimes, especially in the first ship, everything just blended together, which was not exactly very fun. But even so, this level is insanely cool. Absolutely, I'll give that a like. Alright, where is it? Charcoal, here it is. How long have I been streaming? Oh wow, an hour and a half. And like, my hand's still mostly okay. Like, it's gonna hurt it's gonna hurt either way, just because that is just how my hands and arms are. Like, I am very proud of my work today, and I'm really happy that my hand is mostly holding up with no issues. So what are we thinking? Do I go for one more? I don't know. The problem is most of these just wouldn't work that well for me. Chrono Sanctuary, possibly. Chrono S. Okay, and I haven't played it before, so... Oh, goodness. It looks very 2.0. Although I think it uses the 2.2 ship physics, so I can tell you. Oh, it's also memory. Cool. I'll get my leg out of the way. Oh, cool! I went the way of the coin by accident. Oh, it's a collab. Okay, I see. What the heck? Let's see. What am I supposed to? Oh, okay. Okay, this level's cool, but at the same time, what the hell? Yeah, I wonder when it was made as well. Oops. Oh, okay. I already had to deal with this enough with charcoal. Don't make it extend to this level too. Oh, okay. So wait, is this gonna end with like the wow at the end of, for example, Gamma? Pan again. Oh. Bruh. I'm talking so much about how the gameplay is, or I'm thinking so, about how good the gameplay is despite it being made in 2.0, and then skip knots, Nubis, Pan. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, this is really cool. I'll see what I can do for like a few minutes from 0 to 2%, I guess. Pan, yes, it is, in fact, the guy who made the part in Hypersonic. I can't remember what part he was. Was he before or after Etzer? Oops. Wait, does that work all the way through? Okay, it's taking a short break just to see if I can successfully break this level. Probably not. I think the pad prevents that from being possible. It was worth a shot, though. Okay. And beyond that, no. Okay, this level's really cool. I do like it a lot. I'm probably gonna beat it off stream just because first of all, duel at the end, and second, I am starting to lose my voice. That's like the only thing that's stopping me from streaming for longer at this point. Hour and 35 minutes. Yeah, that is way better than I usually do, and my hand like doesn't hurt all that much. So I could probably still only go up to hour and a half, 2 hours, but that's a start. So yeah, that is where I am ending stream for today. I'm really happy with, you know, what playing on keyboard has done, what I've done playing on keyboard, sorry. Really happy with that. I got a lot more used to it. My hand doesn't hurt nearly as much. So yeah, probably gonna head out, beat this off stream, and then I'll also stream on Tuesday. Don't know what I'll do. Maybe GD, maybe Skyblock, maybe Trackmania, I don't know. Or maybe a mix of all three. Who knows? But yeah, thank you all for coming, and I guess, see ya.